You've spit, and then you waited a few weeks, and now you have your results. And after you get over the ethnicity results, you see that you have hundreds, if not thousands, of people that you match DNA with. Now you need to get in contact with them. So how do you do that? Howdy, I'm Andy Lee with Family History Fanatics, and this is a segment of DNA. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell if you'd like to be notified about upcoming episodes. With all of those DNA matches, we need to talk with some of them. So how do we go about making contact, and what should we say? First, remember that DNA is a record, similar to other genealogy records. If you have been doing genealogy for a while, you've probably contacted a distant cousin or other relative that you wanted to get some information from. Contacting a DNA match is no different. The only real difference is that you might not know exactly how you're related to the person you're contacting. Let's go through some pre-contact steps and then talk about what you want to say in the emails that you're sending to your DNA matches. The first thing we want to do is prioritize who we're going to contact. With thousands of matches, there's really no way in your lifetime that you're going to make contact with all of them. So we want to identify who are the most important ones first. Now you're more likely to identify relationships between people that you share the most DNA with. So that should be the first way that you prioritize it, is try to contact people that you share the most DNA with first. Next, you also are likely to identify matches for people that you share common last names or locations. So if you can immediately identify some different surnames or locations where they have their ancestors and you have your ancestors, those are some other matches that you want to contact. Second, you want to analyze the matches that you have and gather some more information. How much DNA do you share with them? What chromosomes is it on? Do you have other matches that you share in common? You want to do some of the legwork, some of the research before you contact these people. And what you may find is that there's actually some portion of your matches that you're able to identify the most likely relationship before you ever contact them, just from examining some of the information and knowing what you already know about your ancestry. After we've done our initial research on our matches, it's time to contact them. And in this day and age, that means writing an email. Now this email is going to be the hook that hopefully allows you to connect with that distant ancestor. So take your time. Don't try to rush it. And again, let me emphasize, with thousands of matches, you're not going to be able to make contact with all of them. First thing to do, don't use the pre-made email that the companies give you. This is completely impersonal, and in most cases, it doesn't really have a lot of information. And it may come across like you don't really know what you're doing. You will get far less responses from using the pre-made email than just making an email of your own. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit longer to do that, but you want to connect with these people, and so it's important to take the time to do it right. Second, introduce yourself, and if this is a match to somebody else that you manage their DNA kit, let them know who that match is and how they're related to you. For instance, howdy, my name's Andy Lee, and I found a DNA match for my grandfather, Burton Lee. Third, you want to provide specific identifying information so that the other person can also evaluate this match. This should include the company that was tested, if there's an ID number or name for the match, and anything else that you know of that can be helpful in identifying the specific match that you have. Some websites use a code, others allow you to use an alias. Again, it depends on who you match with and where you found that match. On GEDmatch, Burton Lee M111111 matches with DTP M111112 across 225 centimorgans on several chromosomes. Fourth, you want to provide some information about the possible relationship. Now, second cousins and closer is going to share enough DNA that it's going to be pretty obvious which relationship it probably is. For third cousins and more distant, be careful about jumping to conclusions about how you may be related. You can share the same amount of DNA with a fourth cousin that you share with an eighth cousin. Also, if you have a tree online that somebody else can look at, be sure to include a link to that online tree. Based on the amount of shared DNA, Burton and DTP are possibly second cousins. Burton's known great-grandparents had the surnames of Lee, Brandenburg, Harper, Green, and Smith. And all of them lived in the Sacramento, California area in the 1850s and 1860s. You can see his pedigree chart by following this link, http://www.treelink.com/Burton-Lee. Fifth, briefly describe what research you've already done on the match and what information you've learned. Some people who took the DNA test are just on the cusp of being interested in genealogy as a hobby. By sharing what you know, you may push them over the edge and help get them started in doing research on their own family. I looked at DTP's matches, and he shares several in common with Burton, whose ancestors I already know lived in the Sacramento, California area. I couldn't find a pedigree chart for DTP. Sixth, now you want to ask for some information. Keep this simple. Only ask one thing. You don't want to overwhelm anybody by asking and making them do a whole bunch of research. Do you have a pedigree chart online for DTP that I could look at and see if there's any obvious connections between Burton and DTP? Finally, close your message with contact information. I typically leave my name, my email, my phone number, and the city and state where I live. Genealogy research involves sharing, sometimes personal information. And in order to do that, you have to trust the people that you're sharing that information with. I've found that when I give people at least 2 ways to contact me, I'm more likely to be contacted than just leaving the email by itself. Sincerely, Andrew Lee, 555-867-309, in Humble, Texas. Now with those tips, you can get started contacting your matches. If you have any questions, put it in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up.